right, Daniel. Well, I'm excited to be here talking with you about these new products that you guys have. I was telling you earlier how I've had the awesome opportunity to shoot long range and to train and even be part of some like world record attempts and successes. And a few of the major things that I find myself um, wanting to teach and wanting to learn is really like I don't think people set their rifle up for them personally. As I don't think they spend as much time on that as they should. And the longer I teach, the more the little things seem to matter, right? The more those little like things that are whatever, just jump on it and shoot. Well, no, like we're trying to do amazing things. We have such amazing technology nowadays, like that the precision that can be reached is insane. So having a stock that you can set up super specific to you, especially with all the different mounts and scopes and things going on. It's hard to find, right? I have a number of weapons with pull noodles taped onto the buttstock, which isn't real attractive, but at the end of the day, like I need that if I'm going to try to compete or shoot at a high level. And then, yeah, with the bipod, we've always taught to push your bipod as far forward as you possibly can. So this is ingenious. I remember maybe might have been like 5 or 6 years ago at SHOT Show. I think you were there with Val at a booth, and you had the lasers. You had the two.
Right.
Yeah, where the guns, the back of the gun is moving up and down with BipodeXt, and then just a regular bipod. And the difference in the movement downrange was really, it catches your eye. You're like, all right, this is the real deal.
It is.
So like, what you're doing is absolutely right, and it makes a ton of sense. But how did you come to that? Because it just I don't feel like the things that make sense and are what make it to market all the time, right? Everybody wants to do some crazy stuff that you get, and you're like, there's no benefit to me. Like you solved a problem that never existed, right? There seems to be a lot of that. This is pretty ingenious on multiple levels. Like how did you come to come up with this idea and each of the parts individually? So
he asked the $1,000,000 question.
Yeah.
So first of all, thank you very much
Yeah.
for having me. Thank you for your time.
Yes.
Nice to see you.
yes, sir.
Yes, I think that SHOT Show was either 2018 or 2019. The
19
laser
sounds good.
display was in 19.
Yeah.
How I came about. All right. Back in the day when I was a young man, so now you know I'm talking
Back in the day.
back in the day. I was feeling like a hero shooting at 300, right? And I was shooting well at 300.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much the last time I shot a long gun. I do that a lot of my life. I do things intensively,
Intensely, and then move on.
and then I move on to something else. And mid 2000s, 2006, a buddy invites me to go out shooting. And I say, sure. Boy, I was no longer in my teens.
It's a diminishing skill, isn't it? It's like I always tell people it's like algebra or math. Like just because you could do it a while back doesn't mean you could do it right now. Like you may need to catch up a little bit.
It was embarrassing.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing. The crosshairs wouldn't stop dancing. They're dancing, and they won't stop. And I'll make that part short. I came home frustrated.
Right.
Said, wow, the passage of time. So this is kind of funny, but it's the way it went.
Yeah.
We're laying down with my wife next to me watching a movie. And this sniper dude, Pierce Brosnan, in that particular movie, a friend said to me once, who would have said anything good will ever come out of Hollywood? He said that, not me. Okay, I just quoted. Pierce is pulling a gun and he's resting it on a low wall.
Okay.
And I'm sitting where you're sitting. Pierce is here with the gun sitting on a low wall.
Okay.
And I look at him and I'm going, he's going in a teeter-totter.
Yeah.
His buttstock is moving half inch, so is his muzzle.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he pull back?
Yeah.
He needs
Yeah.
to pull. And as a matter of fact, he's shooting a Steyr, an HS-50
Okay.
Steyr.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Not a light gun.
I looked at it. To me, it was so obvious. I thought the following day, tomorrow, I'm going to go to Walmart and I'm going to find 4 different extension models hanging out there on the Walmart shelves. And I'm going to give me the one that I like the best.
I like it. What were you doing before that? Like, were you, like, at that time, did you have a different career or job?
I was in a completely different field. I own and I still own a very small paralegal firm.
Paralegal.
We support just a very small group of lawyers. And that's what I was doing. Never really enjoyed it very much. Was good enough to make a decent living. It's got some interesting aspects.
I'm
to it.
sure.
It's not all just boring stuff.
Not bad to have lawyer friends either, so that's okay.
Right. And there are some good ones out there, believe it or not. I mean, maybe we can count it with the fingers of one hand, but they're out there.
Well, you know, I always tell people if people aren't willing to lie and do dirty, then there would be no room for attorneys
Right.
that were shady, right? So
Right.
I blame us
Maybe
before
just
them,
us
and as much as
responsible.
them.
As
Yeah.
much as them.
Yeah. So anyway, so you.
So I saw it. I saw it.
Yeah.
I said he needs to rest.
He's a fullback.
He needs to pull, but I mean way back.
Yeah.
Not an inch or 2.
Yeah.
I mean a foot or 2. And I don't know, man. A month later, I reached the end of the internet searching for my extension, and it was not there.
Didn't exist.
Didn't exist. So I called my patent lawyer, who got me my first patent back in the 90s.
Okay.
Also a geometry-related patent. I do like geometry. I'm a sucker for that thing, and I think about that when in my free time, if I ever have that. So anyway, his name is also Daniel. I called Daniel. I said, Daniel, this. And Daniel goes, nah, too obvious. And I said, yeah, I get the obvious part, but where is it?
Yeah.
I've been searching
Let's do the
everywhere.
research. Yeah.
Well, so did the patent examiner. Thought that it was too obvious. She gave us headaches. She puts us to a lot of extra work. When it came to the patent examiner, what saved our patent was the slow motion cameras showing barrels whipping.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when she finally got it, that it couldn't be supported at the barrel itself. It had to be supported way back on the stock while leaving the barrel alone.
Yeah, you can't touch the barrel.
But she's not a shooter, right? I don't think she's a shooter anyway. So
Unlikely.
it took a bit of work to explain all that and show all that, and she finally got it.
Got it. What exactly are the patents on?
The first patent is not on this system,
Is
but
it
it's
the-
on the BipodeXt, the unit
Yeah.
that's attached to the bottom.
I have one of those. I love that thing. Yeah, those that you can take off and add as you.
It
and
gives
add
you
with.
more flexibility, right?
Sure.
If you need it, you pop it in. If you don't, you take it out. And
Yeah.
you need it on this rifle, you need it on that rifle.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the first patent.
And is it just the overall piece or the extension
it's quite a
part?
few
Or?
things. The extension concept is one of the granted claims.
Okay.
Um,
Adjustable. It's probably like it's not just extendable. It's like
it's adjustable
variable
to-
extensions and things.
to a
yeah.
number of
Yeah.
degrees. The rotating tubes turns out to be another important claim because we can adjust cant by
Yeah.
just operating this level here. So if I were behind this gun, I can probably reach that level without getting from behind it. So I can forget about the bipod. In fact, we don't need the bipod with a cant adjusting
Yeah.
feature to it. Honestly, I haven't looked at our patent the longest time. I forget about the other allowed claims, but the main claim is the extendability
The extendability.
and the rotation.
Gotcha.
And a few other things that got mentioned on the patent. In this case, with this setup, it's not ideal to show what I'm saying, but the bipod can rotate 90 degrees. So if you're operating with a different rifle and out there, you don't have anything else to rest upon. Well, you can rest on the side of a tree.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Makes
know?
sense. Yeah.
If you're shooting up and you have a window opening or a door opening, the bipod can rotate 180 and be placed upon a window like that. These are things that I mentioned in the patent.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's
Right.
shown. And I remember some drawings showing bipods attached in both ends of what we call the front plug.
Okay.
Like right there, the bipod is attached on the Picatinny side of it.
Yes, sir.
The top side of it is Arca.
Yep.
Well, with a shorter barrel and a longer extension, you can have both and a different bipod. You can have two bipods attached to
That's
it.
cool. Yeah.
One with very long legs
Yeah.
and one with short legs, and you can literally rotate them and operate one
That's
or
crazy.
the other.
Yeah. I hadn't thought of that. Like you could have, multiple
Uh,
setups. Well, and the rifle you said, so that's the BipodeXt was the first.
the BipodeXt
And
was
then we somebody we mutually know, pretty well known guy in the long range shooting community, maybe had some thoughts on what you guys are doing, and then was that the beginning of this idea, or had you already been thinking about putting it into a chassis already?
no, I had not.
Yeah.
No, I had not. The BipodeXt was released, made it to the market. We did the first official introduction of it in SHOT Show 2018. And the BipodeXt's been out for a couple of months, I forget. And I get an email from Mr. Eduardo Abril de Foncuberta, and Eduardo is so funny. He writes this email introducing himself, telling us who
As if we
he
don't
is.
know who he
As
is.
if-
Yeah. Yeah, we know who you are.
So that was my initial response to him. I said, Eduardo, if I don't know who you are, I probably shouldn't be in this
In the wrong industry, right?
But nevertheless, I'm honored, literally honored
really cool,
that
yeah.
you are reaching out
Yeah.
to us. But Eduardo being the super nice man that he is, that's just the way he is. So basically, he said, one of the best inventions for rifles since rifles been around. Not my words,
Yeah.
his words. And I tell you what, if you want me to, I'll help you build it right into the chassis.
Okay, so Eduardo was the one that was like, why don't you just make a chassis with this built into it instead of.
Eduardo came with it
Okay.
right from the get-go. He saw the detachable unit and he said, beautiful. And the next step, put it right into the chassis.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then how about all the adjustments in the buttstock? How did that start to come?
This is much more recently in time. This is our work. This is my work. This is my team's work.
Okay.
But let me just please go back to building it into a chassis.
Okay.
He said, Eduardo said, I'll help you build it right into a chassis and I'll introduce you to the right people too. And that's how he introduced us to McCree Precision.
Okay.
That's how we met Scott. That's how we started working, and we really want to work furiously. Because SHOT Show
Came out quick.
was either end of January or early February. It's always
Yeah, it was the end of January. Yeah.
in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
We brought the first fast prototype to King of 2 Mile, and at the time it used to be the 4th of July week. So we knocked off the first prototype in about 6 months.
And I'm thinking about it as you're talking, and the King of 2 Mile has some weight restrictions on things that people have a hard time coming in under often. So the carbon fiber and the way that the chassis is set up, it may not be obvious to everybody, but like as you're talking, I could tell that's a purpose built for that too. It's hard to have light and sturdy, right? But by moving the bipod forward and some of the other features, like you can have a lighter chassis, and overall sturdier.
We couldn't make one size fits all.
Yeah.
If that's the question. These chassis right here, we had to break them into 3 sizes.
Yeah. Okay.
Maple, the baby orca, and the mama orca.
Yeah.
Because the diameter of your action dictates,
It dictates all
everything
that,
else.
yeah.
And also you have trigger height relationships that you must respect. So
Yeah.
one thing is your little 135 Remington, and quite another thing is your Macmillan 2-inch,
That makes sense.
and things on the middle like this one, right? So there is no one size fits all. Then of course, the bigger the action, the bigger the guns the guys build. The bigger they are, the more they weigh. The more they weigh, the more you gotta be paying attention to all the mechanics that are gonna be.
That's a 30-pound gun as it sits right there. So yeah.
So is it for you? Is it good? This.
It's amazing. Yeah. Every part of every single product just sitting on that table there, in my opinion, is there's not a product that I could add to that to make anything any better. Like
All
that.
right.
So
So
I say that like with some humility because I'm all that.
You
means
know,
when I
I'm
go out-
improving.
When I go out and shoot, I'm telling you already, that's not that fault. Like everything there is like top notch. So if it doesn't go well, it was my fault. But like
So-
I said, I've loved it for all those obvious things, like the bipod moving forward. I'm embarrassed to say, like we've always pushed it forward. We've gone as far as we could, but never thought to extend. And then the setup, I just can't stress enough.
You know,
that's
we
that
have a friend. We all know him. I'm not going to mention his name. If he were sitting here, he'd be pushing for his name to be mentioned. He said to me years back, Danny, I thought of it first. I thought of a 2-inch rail that I wanted here so I could have the bipod
extend 2 inches. Yeah,
2 inches.
it's a different idea altogether. Yeah.
But I thought of it first. It needed to be sitting forward. I said, okay. But I thought it needed to be 2 feet. And here is why. Let's look at it in a vacuum, if we can. Let's just forget for a moment about bullet drop, wind. Let's forget about all of that. If we could have the bipod right next to the target, even if the target is at 1,000 yards, we could be jumping up and down 20 feet in the air when pulling the trigger. We'll never miss the shot.
Yeah. That's a great analogy.
It will change the angle in which the bullet will hit the blade, but will hit the blade.
Still hit. Yeah.
It's like pinning it to it, and then you can have.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not practical, nor do we want it to. As a matter of fact, close to the muzzle brake is where most people like it.
Mm-hmm.
We have a few. Mr. Clint Eastwood quote: "Every gun makes its own tune." Right? We've seen guns that love that position over there. We've seen guns that like it even a little closer to the trigger group. We've seen guns that do better when it is a little farther out. That I cannot explain, and I probably will never be able to explain. By now, I have probably literally seen thousands of pictures of different setups.
Yeah, different variants.
And
a lot of it's personal preference and thing. Like I find myself, I like to load the bipod when I shoot a lot of the times, right? Meaning I'm pressuring forward into it. So if I have a shooting mat that has a place that I can put those legs inside of it, I like that. So that something like that may adjust a particular day or particular shooter competition. I may adjust the length of that so that I still want to be laying on the mat a little, or maybe I don't care, but I have to be enough on the mat where I don't push it forward. So I could see a lot of variance just in every shooter.
Right.
Wanting to do that. I have had it out like even with the end of the gun. And I don't have an actual reason why I don't like that, but I right about, anywhere from the end of the gun to the end of that suppressor to where it is now seems like for me. And again, to
And
your
you
point,
don't see
I don't know about it.
variances on the way the guy shoots.
I don't. The gun and the part of the um, reason for that, the gun's so heavy. You could probably set that gun down on the ground and just go over and pull the trigger. I'm not too sure it wouldn't even move
No, it probably wouldn't.
back any. So it's kind of like some diminishing returns at some point, and just I will say this gets overlooked, and it's not like technical, but just being comfortable and confident and feeling like everything's set up the way you want it
Wow.
is worth its weight in gold for confidence level behind the rifle. So whatever works for you. There's nothing else that I know of that I can do what I want. I can adjust. Yeah, I can
Now-
adjust back and forth. So that's
Now I can answer your question
Okay.
from a moment ago. There's everything going on back here.
yes.
Um, ever since Eduardo so kindly brought us to his world, the ELR world, we've been watching, observing. Really, I've been looking and looking at shooters, and to me, something was obvious. I would see a shooter and say, that guy or that girl is comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll see another shooter and go, that guy is not
Moving his head around every shot, right? Trying to
He
get, like,
is fighting every shot. He's trying something a little different every shot. He's not comfortable. So that kind of drove the design. We said, this is our first chassis, by the way. Until 2023 and even early 24, we were selling, retailing, and even wholesaling chassis made by two other parties
That's right.
that had our forehand.
Yeah.
We will provide our forehand with the tubes, but everything from here backwards,
Someone else's.
someone else's.
I remember that. Yeah.
So then in early 24, we acquired McCree, and that's where we really went, okay, maybe now we have what is needed to make chassis. So that was the first thing that we looked at really, really hard. What do we need to give folks back here to really have something that, if they're a regular human being, anywhere from 4'8"
Yeah.
to 6'6", they can adjust.
Yeah.
The only thing that turned challenging right there was the chickpeas,
Okay. What's that?
because guys run sometimes super, super tall scope
I
bases.
have a 200 MOA mount right there.
There we go. Okay.
That's
you
the Ram,
just
that's
made-
the
you just
12
made
dollar-
my job
yeah.
super easy.
Yeah.
If we put this scope base right here, chances are these chickpeas is not gonna be enough. That's why we made it easy to be removed.
Mm-hmm. That will do.
And this is an inch tall, and we make one that is an inch and a half, and even one that is 2 inches.
Just perfect.
Because in one of my guns, I own a skull base that is about twice as tall as this
Yeah.
one is. So everything else turned out fine. Backpack,
Mhm.
foot. Again, you can't be rifle set up. I keep messing with
No,
the
it's-
settings. I'm not gonna touch your
So
settings.
it's totally, you're more than
So anyway, the backpack races up and down, as you know, the
Yeah.
chickpeas not only up and down, but
Front
also
and back.
back and forth.
Yeah.
The foot system is modular. It can be removed. It can take a longer foot. It can take an angled foot. The long end or the angle end can be mounted either way,
Yeah.
180 degrees. So if you're shooting downward
Downward or up. Yeah.
versus up.
Yeah.
I mean, we really try to give it.
I've been super impressed with that part. I mean, it might be my training came from a partner of mine, Charlie Melton, I think, who you know.
Mr. Charlie.
Yeah, I've been
how can I know?
teaching and shooting with him forever, and his methodology as a Navy SEAL sniper is you should be able to fall asleep on your rifle, and when you open your eyes, perfect sight picture, right? It's really hard to accomplish. It's almost impossible to accomplish unless you have something like that where you can really, really dial it in. Even people think that they have their gun set up just perfect. if you go out and sit with them, they'll realize they're fighting it. They're still fighting it somewhere, whether it's the eye relief part or whether it's side. You know, there's something.
Being comfortable is
Yeah.
probably your best foundational
It is.
break, right? If you're not comfortable, you're not going to be repetitive.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
going to be fighting that
yeah.
position every time. So that, and me, really, as I'm not getting any younger, I'm finding that being comfortable is
It's a big
really
deal.
mandatory.
Well, people don't talk about it a lot, but you know, we'll go shoot this weekend, and I'll be having to deal with distance, the dope that I'm going to dial for this particular shot. I'm going to be reading the mirage for wind and making some kind of guess, which is all it ever is with wind. You know, anybody lighting.
Right.
It's a guess. I'm going to make a wind guess. You know, all at the same time trying to fundamentally be sound in all my practices going along. Like, I really don't have time to just totally also be uncomfortable
Right.
and like trying to move my face and head around and people, you know, don't realize this either. Like we talk about parallax with a scope. If you have parallax, you can actually not hit what you're aiming at. Like your crosshairs are going to be dancing, to your point. So yeah,
I can testify.
yes. So that has to be solved. If you have any shadow in your scope, right, that's not in your favor
Right.
for accuracy and precision. So yeah, being able to like really be solid behind there and not fighting. You're never comfortable. It's never ideal.
No.
It's never like an ideal situation if you're competing. It's never, even if you're just out shooting. You know, there's always a rock to lay on or an incline to deal with or something like that. So yeah.
Many customers are really, really impressed by how much the micarta material changes the behavior of the gun and how well it absorbs the recoil.
Mhm. Yeah.
That adds.
It
It
does.
adds because let's say it for what it is. It makes the shooter less afraid of his own gun.
Absolutely. Yep.
And it's dramatic. I mean, you know it.
Yeah.
Though you got running for the first time on this chassis, right? So you never really run this gun on an aluminum chassis.
Nothing other than that one, yeah.
So it'd be kind of difficult for you to tell because you never run that gun. But if you do put this gun on a metal chassis,
Yeah. I've run enough guns in metal chassis. I could tell you that
you-
there's something special about this one.
you go, this isn't the same
Nice,
thing
yeah.
anymore, and I am not happy about the change.
No, yeah, well, like you said, I like when, like if I'm teaching my kids or if I'm teaching new people or women, new women, ear protection is important because that explosive sound makes people uneasy. So I'm trying to mitigate that. So I have
Right.
suppressors, I have ear protection.
Right.
That's all a big deal. And also, it doesn't matter if you're shooting a gun with no recoil. If it's loud, people are still flinchy when they pull the trigger.
Right.
And I tell people all the time, like, you know, sometimes, like, say a guy like Charlie, you see him get down and shoot a rifle, and his eye never even closes. He never even like blinks
Right.
or never flinches. And people are like, "Well, I flinch." I'm like, "So you're normal. That guy's not normal."
No.
Just so you know, that's not normal.
Round.
Yes, yes. I always tell people you're alive today because your ancestors were jumpy, right? They heard a noise around a tree and they kept careful. So any of that you can mitigate, the sound, the recoil, all that kind of stuff makes everybody more comfortable, makes everybody a better shooter. So
You know, I have to say, since you mentioned Charlie, we proudly display in our website his quote, his comments about our products, and I mean super proud that an Navy SEAL will have the statements that he's got about that.
he's also 6'6", and that's a variable, right? Because there's not a lot of people
Right.
6'6". So for the adjustability and the usability of the product, I think that's a little bit extra too, right?
Right.
Because it's if you're 5'10" and it's perfect for you, well, that's cool. Like most things are set up
Right.
for that.
You'll
So-
find that right off of
Right.
ALS.
So you know, all different sizes, shapes of people
Yeah.
can use this equally, even at least up to that height for sure.
And we make them for a lot of different actions right now.
Yeah.
And we're adding more and more. But
Yeah.
right to the last count, there is 171 of them available at
Really?
the website. Yes,
Okay.
we can be see with this thing.
And I forgot, I was going to ask you the fast stock, is that what you call it?
Yes,
I see it on the site, and it looks like it's an acronym the way that it's
It
like
is
an
an
F
acronym.
dot. So what is that?
it's an acronym that our friend Seth Cox came
Okay.
up with,
All right.
and it stands for Funcoberta
Okay.
Advanced Sniper and Tactical Chassis.
All right. Sounds
And
like
that is 110% credit to Seth, as there are many other things.
Yeah.
From the years that Seth spent with
Yeah.
us, right? Seth is a unique guy in many ways
Yeah.
that we all know of. Seth is the only guy that ever broke an HD50 Akitag bipod.
Yeah. Yeah. He shoots a lot. He's
He
hard on
can do
stuff.
that.
He is a Marine, so him
He's a
breaking stuff
Marine.
makes
We
sense to
were
me.
testing the BipodeXt with the bipod attached to it, and he was hammering it
Yeah.
against the concrete floor and saying, "What do you want to do?" I say, "Come a quarter, come a quarter," and he broke the bipod. That we never forgot about that. He's
Yeah.
probably the only person that broke a tank
Yeah.
of a bipod.
Yeah. You know what I end up breaking, which I like that won't happen with this one, is I have pulled a number of the little pick rails that you would put in under your chassis. I have loaded my bipod off of those. Either like it just strips that piece of aluminum because I didn't put a good pick rail, or it'll literally pull it right out of the chassis. And this has been awesome. I haven't had any problems feeling like I can load it as hard as I want. You know, and I'm glad you mentioned that, like that things break, right? You never want to go around saying like our stuff won't break. Well, no, it will break, but it's not going to break within any kind of realistic scenario that you will ever be in.
No.
It's like it's the right answer to that, right? Like,
When that happened, when Seth broke that bipod, it wasn't real. I mean, who grabs a 28-pound rifle and with all his might smash it
More than
against the
once,
concrete floor? More than once.
more than once. You may drop it one time, but you're not gonna.
We were literally trying to see what will break. We figured, okay, something had to break at some point.
And it ended up being that. And I'll tell you what, like shout out to Accutech for whatever it's worth, because they are, in my opinion, as sturdy and good as any bipod that is.
What we did that afternoon is not real. It'll never happen. Nobody will, in purpose, smash something that hard a number of times.
Yeah. I always tell people, like, I worked in the scope industry for a long time, and I tell you what, people want to take their scope and like they want to throw it off the top balcony, and I'm like, look, put it on your gun, and anything you're comfortable doing to your rifle, right? Do that to test the scope, and then people are a little kinder in their testing. I'm like, well, why are you testing for something that doesn't make any real world sense whatsoever? Like,
sometimes
it's gonna fall over, you know, like it's gonna set up and fall over. It's gonna be on the back of the truck and fall off or something. You're not gonna throw it off the back porch. That's not a realistic test. But people want to do stuff like that. You got to remind them, like, it's made to do anything that you would be doing with a rifle.
For real.
Yes.
In a real environment.
Yes.
So we were able to determine that afternoon that both our BipodeXt and the bipod are awesome pieces of equipment.
Yeah.
It took a deliberate effort to break something.
Yeah. Well,
So-
you would think, I thought like that when I would load the bipod that I would be able to collapse those tubes. Just makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That would be the weak point. That would be what would happen. I have not ever I have forgotten to flip one over, but I've never had them tightened properly and had them move an inch. Which I mean, I don't know why I was surprised, but I was like, this is great.
It's a good thinking that you went through, but no, they're pretty sturdy.
Yeah.
They're pretty sturdy. We do silly tests now and then. We have a guy at the shop that unfortunately is way over 200 pounds when he shouldn't, because he's shorter than I am.
I was like, careful, I'm way over 200 pounds too, so.
But he is way shorter than I am. That's what I
Yeah.
meant to say. And we have him on video standing up on top of one of these chassis and actually, literally jumping.
Yeah.
trying to see what, if anything, will break, and no.
It's interesting with all the composite materials now. Like, I think the American thought process previously was just like bigger, stronger, heavier, better. That was it, right? But like metal bends under pressure. And it doesn't come back. It bends, and then now it's weakened in that point. When you have these kind of materials, you may want to speak to the type of material, but like if it did flex and come under some immense pressure, it's gonna break or it's gonna not break, and it's not gonna be bent. So it's not gonna be bent. Basically, is the
This is what they call a thermoset material.
Okay.
Meaning, the way they make it, the way they build it, is, all right, let me back up. It's made of layers of fiberglass and epoxy coatings.
Okay.
So they literally lay down an epoxy coat,
just one after.
a layer of fiberglass, another epoxy coat, and another layer of fiberglass, and then when they're done building the thickness, they put it under a unbelievable amount of pressure. I don't even want to repeat the number because to me the number doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I read more than once 300,000 tons of pressure, and I'm going like,
Is that to mold it like in shape? Like you're saying, they lay out the
that's how they
and mold.
ensure that it becomes consistent.
You're saying
There is no air bubble
Gotcha.
ever found anywhere.
They push those layers together and
They
make sure
push
they're,
that, and then they bake.
and then they bake it. Okay.
So that's how the material is built. The material is tough. It's not plastic, so to speak.
No.
Machine shops don't like it anywhere near as much as they like aluminum. It's easy to cut aluminum.
It's just easier
This is not easy
yeah.
to cut.
Yeah.
It takes longer. It eats tools for breakfast.
Yeah, I can see it gumming things up.
Yeah, it gums things up. I mean, but it is really strong. And it's dense, but it's lighter by weight than aluminum by about 22%, which is the counterintuitive part.
Yeah, it is.
There is a lighter chassis, it helps recoil better.
I mean, that's what you would want, right? I want the
That is what we
lightest,
want. We
sturdiest.
love it.
Yeah.
We have very smart people, way smarter than me, saying my 460 tire feels like my 375 shot. Now another shooter saying my Win Mag feels like my 308. And I can tell you that my 308 feels like a 22.
Yeah. Well, I could tell you that 300 Norma right there doesn't feel like anything.
I've
there's
seen
like there's
videos.
not recoil. There's like
I've seen videos of you shooting
Yeah.
this, and I'm going like he could be shooting all day long.
oh yeah, no, there was no that my crosshair never even moves off of the target.
Right.
No, and and for whatever it's worth, not that I recommend this, but there's a brand new gun, and Mike with Shooter Opinions was out there with me. We laid the gun down. I zeroed it 100 yards, like 3 shots, and then I did my math, and we shot a milk jug at 1,000 yards, and then we went to the mile target, and we shot a milk jug at a mile, and we're like, all right, well,
Well done.
wrap it up. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, brand new guy's not even actually broken in necessarily yet, but it was just like
It's made-
100, 1,000 a mile, and we were just whatever you want to hit with that thing.
I have something to share with you on that note. We have several friends in England, and in England they don't have too many long ranges. I mean, they have 1,000 yards, and that's wow.
That's crazy long for them.
So some of our friends down there have come back to me with not nice words, saying, "Thank you very much, Danny. Now you made it boring to shoot at 1,000, and we don't have any other places to go shooting
Yeah.
here in the island."
Just shoot smaller groups. That's
Just
right.
shoot
Just
smaller
shoot smaller groups. That's all you gotta do. What's the next move for you guys, and what's the next evolution in this kind of process? We're here only
Well,
knocking on the door of going to do a competition, so you're getting the word out through various outlets. But what are your guys' kind of next thoughts and moves with this chassis and with the extender?
we won't stop until we get the actuated version out.
Actuated. Okay, so you're saying like a automatic or a
It's got a little actuator buried inside the tube.
okay.
So the shooter will have a
Little button or something.
kind of a rocket switch somewhere in here. Back in the belly will bury a little battery pack,
Okay.
and it will extend just by operating the rocket switch.
That's amazing. You combine that with, oh, I can't remember which one it is. Accutac has
Agitac has a hydro bipod.
the high, yeah. Yeah.
And Felipe has been working on an electronic version of the
Yeah.
hydro bipod
Oh,
that will auto-resolve cant.
yeah. That would be really cool. Because sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes you think there's can't because of what your target and if you don't have a level, you'll be off.
Right.
But something that would know if you were canting or not and just take care of it for you would be a heck of an asset. Especially at distance, people don't realize that. Like you could be off a very small amount where you are and miss the target completely at a mile or 2 miles.
So really, we're pretty advanced into the actuated version.
Actuated to next.
We built the proof of concept. It worked. We built the prototype. We torture tested the prototype. And that's how far we are. So now
Awesome.
it's refining design for manufacturing.
Awesome.
That's the next stage. But we really wanted it to get the large line of different actions
Yeah.
available out there.
You're spending the time making sure whatever action you want, there's
We want guys to think,
whatever you want to build.
whatever gun I got, if it is a bolt action gun, I probably can get a fast chassis and Orca chassis for it.
I like it. Well, awesome. I appreciate you sharing your expertise and time and the stories there. I can't wait to get out and go do some.
I appreciate this. I really do.
Yeah.
And especially the opportunity to thank our friends from way back
Yeah.
and
lot
give
of-
them the credit they deserve.
A lot of
Just
people
never-
involved. Yeah.
Never forget to do that.
Yeah. I like it. Well, thanks again.
Thank you.